You're in a relationship, but you feel alone, lying next to someone who doesn't look at you the way they used to, talking to someone who answers you automatically, or doesn't answer at all. And the worst part, you've started to think that this is normal. That's what marriage is all about. Cold. No affection, no conversation, no soul. But let me tell you something, my friend. This is how many marriages die in silence, when no one says anything, until one of the two simply leaves. And then do you know what's left? Bitter regret, and a question that haunts you for the rest of your life. Could I have done things differently? Today I'm going to tell you Gabriel's story. A man who realized too late that he was fighting alone for a marriage that was already falling apart. But I'm also going to show you what he did to turn things around, and how you can do the same before it's too late. Don't close this video. This could save your marriage, or save you from continuing to live a lie. If this kind of conversation makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about what no one has the courage to say, truthfully, respectfully, and directly, in the way that man understands. First, the silence that speaks loudly. You know that moment when you get home, hang the key on the hook, take off your tired shoes, and instead of hearing a voice, a noise, all you hear is the sound of your own breathing. A heavy silence which is not just the absence of sound, it is the absence of life. That's exactly how it was with Gabriel. After 28 years of marriage, 28 years sharing the same house, the same routine, he began to notice something that hurt more than any argument or fight: the silence. His wife was there for real, sitting on the couch in the living room, distractedly fiddling with her cell phone. He saw the movement of her hands, the light glow of the television reflecting on her face. She walked through the kitchen, prepared dinner, everything on automatic. In the bedroom, she slept next to him every night, but her soul seemed far away, very far away. It was as if that physical presence was just a body standing there, a shadow that shared the same space, but with no connection. And the worst part, her gaze, that gaze that was once full of life, of affection, now no longer sought his. It no longer had that flame, that desire to meet, to see each other. Gabriel realized this slowly, almost unintentionally, but with each passing day, the silence grew heavier. It was a silence that screamed, that crushed his chest, that left his throat dry. He felt invisible. They still lived together, had dinner at the same table, shared the same bed every night. But what existed between them was no longer love nor friendship. It was just emptiness. And that's where things get tough, my friend. Because Gabriel discovered something that many men feel, but almost no one has the courage to say. And when they do, they often feel ashamed, afraid, or simply don't know how. To put it into words, I'm in a relationship, but I feel alone. That sentence, said quietly inside his own head, was like a scream trapped in his chest. A scream that no one heard, because no one knew what he was feeling. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever looked at someone who is by your side every day, your wife, your partner, and felt like they were just another piece of furniture in the house? A picture on the wall, an object that is there but that no one really sees. That's right, that's what we're talking about. The loneliness that grows inside your home, in the midst of people, where you should feel safe, loved, and instead, you feel forgotten. Gabriel wanted to talk. He wanted to scream. He wanted to find a way to be seen again. But many times all he could do was swallow the lump in his throat and stay there, in the silence that spoke louder than any words. And when you miss even a good morning, Gabriel didn't want luxury. He didn't expect surprises, flowers, or declarations. He just wanted something simple: presence, attention, a little affection. But what he received day after day was coldness. His wife even spoke, but it was that kind of mechanical speech, without emotion, without looking you in the eyes. And the worst part wasn't the absence of words, it was the absence of meaning. He missed being seen. You know when you come home and no one asks how your day was? When you talk and it seems like no one listens? When you do everything to please, but it seems like you're no longer enough? Gabriel missed even a silly conversation, a laugh, an "I miss you." And that's when he started to wonder, does she still love me? Or is she just here out of obligation? But do you know what hurt the most? It was the silent doubt that hit him every day before going to sleep. Is it me that's the problem? And that thought, my friend, weighs heavily. It weighs on your chest, on your sleep, on your self-esteem, because you start to cancel yourself out, to hide, to live in silence, afraid of getting in the way. Gabriel wasn't complaining about life. He just wanted to go back to being important in the life of the person he chose to live with. Heard. Lying side by side, but like two strangers. One night, Gabriel lay in bed, looked at the ceiling and thought, what happened to us? She was there next to him, the same mattress, the same room, the same smell as every day. But the truth is that she was far away, and it wasn't just physical. It was as if her heart had closed the door and thrown away the key. Gabriel tried. Sometimes he would stretch out his arm, put his hand over hers, but she would gently pull away and turn away. No fight, no bad words, just coldness. And this coldness hurts more than any scream, because it comes silently, constantly, like a wall of ice that grows between two people who were once warm for each other. That's when Gabriel understood something that many men take a long time to realize. The worst betrayal in a marriage is not when the body leaves, it's when the heart goes first. They still lived together, did the same things they always did, but it was just routine, automatic, no soul. And the question that remained in Gabriel's head night after night was, could it be that I'm living with a woman who has already given up on living with me? Fourth, either both fight or one will get tired alone. Gabriel began to realize something that was hard to accept, but it was liberating. For a long time, he tried to keep everything going. You know that kind of man who carries everything on, his shoulders in silence, thinking it's his obligation to make the marriage work. That's right. Gabriel was like that. He still started conversations. He still asked if she wanted to watch a movie with him. He still made her coffee the way she liked it. He still remembered important dates, but nothing came back. It was like throwing words into a bottomless pit. He did it, and saw no return. Until one day, looking at his own image in the mirror, he said something out loud, almost like a confession. I can't keep fighting alone. And that sentence fell like a punch in the stomach, because right there at that moment he understood he was fighting for two alone. And do you know what's worse? There are a lot of people like that, men who are trying to keep an entire marriage together as if it were a one-man war. But my friend, relationships are not carried on your shoulders. They are built side by side. That's when Gabriel found the courage. He sat down with her. He waited for the right moment, his tone calm, and he said everything that had been stuck inside for months, without shouting, without accusing, without dramatizing. He just told the truth, that he felt alone, that he missed her, that he still wanted to try, but he needed to know if she wanted to too. And then came the silence, the kind of silence that makes it seem like time stands still. She looked at him with a look he hadn't seen in years, and he cried. She was feeling alone too, but unlike him, she had kept quiet, kept it in, swallowed it. Life, the years, the problems, the children, the stress, the tiredness. All of this was creating a barrier between the two. But the truth is that the feeling still existed. It was just hidden under the dust of the years. That night they didn't resolve everything, but they started something they hadn't done in a long time, listening to each other, and that changed everything. Now, if she had said she didn't want it anymore, if she had looked at him and said, it's not possible anymore, Gabriel would have understood too, because he learned the hard way possible that fighting alone is not proof of love. It's emotional suicide. Conclusion: a marriage without a soul is like a house without light. After that conversation, Gabriel didn't become a perfect man, nor did his marriage turn into a fairy tale. But one thing really changed: his conscience. He understood that love doesn't end all at once. It's not like turning off a light. He gradually loses himself. In habit, in lack of care, in haste, in pride, in not speaking. in fear of appearing weak by saying, "I'm feeling lonely." How many men do you know who keep quiet just to keep up appearances? How many men do you know who live as if everything is fine, but inside they're screaming? Gabriel was one of them. But he decided to break this cycle. He decided to speak up. He decided to try. And most importantly, he decided not to accept living the rest of his life as if he were an extra in his own house. He learned that marriage without presence, without listening, without truth, is just a contract with two signatures and no heart. And look, if you're experiencing this today, if you feel like the person next to you doesn't see you anymore, if you feel like you've become just part of their routine, like the couch or the fridge, you need to do something. Keeping quiet only makes it worse. Holding it in only makes you sick. Accepting it out of fear only destroys you. Speak up. Call them to talk. Try one more time. But if the person doesn't want to, if they've given up on you, so, for the love of yourself, don't lose yourself just to keep someone who's already gone inside. Gabriel understood that life is too short to live like a stranger in your own story.